Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Morning, everybody. Well, okay, so we're back to our regular programming, but I hope you'll stick around to the end because I have some thoughts. And I would love for you guys to hear them and tell me what you think. So stick around. Here we go.
We're starting off this morning with Queen Camilla going to tour the Amuse community at Bobby Vincent House in West Norwood, South London. Here's a little snippet of her arriving. This facility supports homeless women and provides them with a home, meaningful work, and funds training for them for the last 15 years. And she's been their patron since 2006 and has visited multiple times. They even have a boutique that she went to, and then she sat down and spoke with some of the women about their specific challenges. Very nice. Now, in a lighthearted moment, the chief executive, James Hayes, thanked Camilla for continuing to support them, even though she got a big work promotion. Listen to this.
It clearly hasn't gone unnoticed to any of us, Mom, that you've recently had a big promotion at work. So we're extremely proud and grateful and pleased that you've chosen to join us and join our community.
Next up, the Duke of Gloucester went to Stratford and with some local school children opened up the newly restored historic entrance to Queen Mary's Hospital. He has been the patron there and helped support the restorative work that was done. Next, the Duke of Kent went to St. Mungo's and they had their annual Christmas Carol concert. There were 2 different choirs there and apparently they did a great job. Fabulous. Next up, the Army, I can't pronounce it, the Grenadier Guards marched out from Wellington Barracks in the snow to take up guard duty. There was some music playing. Here's just a little bit of it. Listen to this. Next up, Prince William actually got a chance to sit down and talk with the Earthshot Prize winners from 2022. Wonderful. All right, now we're going to move on to some other things. Now, remember when Harry put up this picture in one of his promos and he goes, "Oh, this is the Freedom Flight." Well, thank you to Countess Commonwealth for this photo because this is a freedom flight. Yeah, and for somebody that was in the military, he should know that. By the way, you see how these people are all sitting on the floor crunched in because they'll do anything to get away from wherever it was that they were? Well, Tyler Perry's jet has, Blu-ray players and satellite TV, theater lighting. There was a conference room, there's bathrooms, there's bedrooms. Notice Harry didn't show you the inside of their freedom flight because it was quite luxurious.
I don't know that I'll be able to put these all in the right order, but try to stick with me on this, okay? My first thought as I'm watching these promos is that, first of all, do you guys realize that they were filming during COVID while people were dying? They're in their palace. I think they started filming actually before they announced Megxit from some of the stuff that they've taped, which basically tells me that they had their deal with Megxit in place, in my opinion, before they left. Just my opinion.
Why else would they have gone to this event and then gone back to Frogmore and posed for a professional photographer unless they needed the pictures later?
They went on the Oprah show while Harry was well aware that his grandfather was dying and was on his deathbed. I also have an issue with Harry, who was always angry about the media using his mother's memory for commercial gain. But isn't that exactly what he's doing? He's using his mother's memory for commercial gain. Harry is using his dead mother's photos for sympathy. That's pretty lame. As we're looking at these promos, I'm sure you guys have noticed, I've pointed out to you all the misinformation in them. Isn't Harry supposed to be against misinformation? The pictures of the photographers that come to find out they're from the Harry Potter premiere 5 years before he even met Meghan, or Katie Price showing up to court, or, all of, picture of him with his hand up that come to find out it's him with Chelsea Davy.
And when Netflix was told, you guys are putting all this misinformation into your promos, if I'm not mistaken, the response was that this wasn't supposed to be taken literally. Like what? Because I remember saying, well, maybe their love story isn't supposed to be taken literally. This is misinformation. But what really got me was when they took the Queen's speech and they altered it to fit their narrative. That was also misinformation. Listen to this. So here's what was said on the Netflix trailer.
I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to the service of our great imperial family.
But here's actually what she said.
I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family, to which we all belong.
How low do you have to be to change your grandmother's speech to the nation when she was 21 to make her sound racist? Like, how low can you go?
Now, in case you guys haven't noticed, this very litigious couple still has not sued Tom Bauer or Valentine Lowe or tweeted about it or talked about it. They're just ignoring the whole situation, hoping it'll just, go away. It's not going away. And talking about books, let's not forget Harry's book that's coming out. Now, almost immediately after it was announced, they dropped it to half price. And on Shopping Black Friday, you could get it for free if you signed up for Audibles. But keep in mind that when they call it a bestseller, it's how many people got the book, not what they paid for it. It's the numbers. So they're pushing it at half off. They're pushing it for free on Black Friday because they want to be able to say it's a #1 bestseller, when the truth is they really haven't made any money from the book.
And talking about books, Omid Scobie has just put out his new book called Endgame. It's going to come out on August 1st of 2023. Guess what it's about, you guys? It's about how after the Queen died, the royal family is had, according to him, a long simmering crisis of confidence, and it's resurfacing, and now they're fighting to keep going. Bull crap. And I think we all know who helped them write this book.
They want the UK and the United States to love Meghan. You must love her. You must say only positive things about her. And I think that's part of the problem. They haven't been able to get the UK to like her. They did like her in the beginning, but then the constant whining, only working 72 things in 2 years while they're going on vacations and spending, because I think that's, flying private jets everywhere, because I think that's what Meghan thought the job was. I don't think she really understood, even though Harry said in the engagement interview that he sat her down and had frank talks with her and explained it. Listen to this.
But do you have that sense of responsibility, Prince Harry, for what you're asking Meghan to do?
Of course, that sense of responsibility was essentially from day one, or maybe a couple of months in, when I suddenly realised actually this is, I know that I'm in love with this girl, and I hope that she's in love with me. But we still had to sit down on the sofa, and I still had to have some pretty, frank conversations with her to say, look, what you're letting yourself in for is, it's a big deal, and it's, it's not easy for anybody.
So what do I think was happening? I think Meghan Markle was completely jealous of Catherine. Not just her looks, I think she was jealous of her position. That they had the cooks and the housekeepers and the nannies. While Meghan had the nannies, she always complained she had to go home afterwards and cook. She expected to just ring a bell and have dinner delivered. You know what I mean? She couldn't control the UK media. She couldn't control the narrative about her. That was one of the things that I think she just couldn't take. You know, they're living in the lap of luxury. They have millions of dollars, 2 healthy children, a mansion. So if their life is so great, they want you to believe that their life is so great, why are they doing this? Does anybody have any thoughts? I think they're doing it. You know how Harry said it was a dirty game? I think this is their dirty game. That's what I think this is. I think this is payback for not giving the kids the titles. I think that they're just going to continue until, and they're going to push until they think the royal family is going to give them what they want. However, I think that the royal family is not going to do that. As a matter of fact, I think they're going to be shocked at what the royal family is going to do, because there's a little birdie talking saying that the palace, after the book comes out, and I've told you before, they're going to let them take their shots at everything. I think the palace is going to release the bullying report. And I think they should. I mean, it's become very obvious, you guys, that, you know, no amount of money, clothes, you know, cars, houses, or attention is going to pull them out of the greed and jealousy thing that they're in. They're never happy. They can't sit back and look at the blessings of their life. They just can't do it. They just can't do it. But it's obvious they want everybody to see how happy they are. Now, here's my thing. They went through the Oprah show, and even Gayle King went on the morning news and said they had receipts, but we never saw them. And they're going to be making a lot of allegations. They've already made some in episodes 1, 2, and 3, but they're going to be making even more in episodes 4, 5, and 6. Are you finally going to show the receipts to back up? Because if not, this is no better than the Oprah show, and not, you know, I'm not going to believe anything they say unless you prove to me what you're saying. They didn't prove anything they said at the Oprah show, and I don't expect to see any proof of this stuff either.
All right, a couple of other small little things. Several people didn't understand what I said when I said that Meeson Harriman was a direct link between Meghan and Harry and Sister Space. Remember, he's the one who took all those photos. He was the one who was there during the Platinum Jubilee taking the picture of Lilibet's birthday, and he took her pregnancy photo. Here's the headshot that he took for the woman, Marlene, from Sister Space. There you go, direct link. Now, the next little bit of information that came out was that Charles may strip Harry and Meghan of the princely status. In other words, put it into abeyance, and he can't call himself Prince Harry, and she can't call herself princess, like it's a joke. So, and remember the bill that's going through Parliament that I showed you, if Charles refuses to do it, Parliament can do it for him. They may lose more than they realize.
Now, I'm going to end with something interesting that I discussed with the Duchess of North Sussex. We all know that Christopher Bouzy is like, I'm going to do this website called Spoutible. He did a crowdfunder to get the whale logo that another YouTuber showed came from 2017. So I think he might have just pocketed that money. Don't quote me. That's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. But he said that he paid $1 million, or like a little less than $1 million, for the rights to this logo or Spoutible or whatever the heck it was. I don't really follow him, or I'm not really worried about it. And then he tweeted, oh, we've set it up in Delaware. Who do we know set up their businesses in Delaware? I think it's all out now that he has been working for Harry and Meghan, even though he tweeted multiple times he hadn't. So he's a liar. We know this. I think Harry and Meghan paid for the rights to Spoutible, because if, as well as Harry and Meghan paying for his attorney, because if he can't even pay a $10,000 judgment that was put against him for the landlord that he didn't pay, how is he coming up with almost $1 million to grab the rights to this name? How is he coming up with the money to set up a company in Delaware, which just happens to be where Harry and Meghan set up their company? My thought process is, this is Harry and Meghan's. I think Harry and Meghan are trying to set up their own website to rival Twitter. I'll bet you nothing negative about Harry and Meghan or Amber Heard will be allowed. But if you want to smash the royal family or Johnny Depp, I bet there won't be any controls against that. How much do you guys want to bet? This is actually Harry and Meghan. You know, some articles came out. They were going to set up their own metaverse. They were going to set up their own thing. No, I think they're setting up their own rival Twitter in an attempt for Meghan to control the narrative, because that's always been her thing. Control, control, control. That's my opinion. Just like somebody pointed out what Bouzy had done, you know, in releasing my name, my age, my state, what I do for a living, trying to get people to call the board and get my nursing license pulled, releasing my son's autism diagnosis. It's pretty obvious at this point that Harry and Meghan hired him, which means they were aware that he did that. And they didn't stop him. So there are, you know, this whole thing about we're so wonderful, we're so compassionate. If she was compassionate, she wouldn't be having Mr. Bouzy do stuff like that, and she certainly wouldn't have Harry on the thing saying she doesn't have a father. She would go see her dad, who's still very much alive. So in my opinion, it was Harry and Meghan who released that information de facto through Christopher Bouzy. As much as she's in control over everything, she now runs Archwell. You really expect me to believe that he did all that without their knowledge? Because I don't believe it.
Now, I think you guys should know that Forbes magazine, they are not a tabloid. They're not like the regular news that you can buy your way in. Forbes has said that this whole thing is going very bad for Harry and Meghan. If they said it, it's true. And I'm happy to read it. I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
So, I hope you guys got the gist of all my thoughts. Don't forget to leave those comments below and go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I don't know why YouTube's algorithms tell me that like 55% of the people that are watching are subscribed and 44% aren't. That just makes no sense to me. Not with the numbers that I'm seeing. I mean, like, I don't get it. But go ahead and hit that button and subscribe just so you get a notification. If you go up into the description box, you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon. Make sure you have all that in case my channel goes down. We all know it happened once before. Let's not, you know, panic then and wonder how we're going to find me. Get the information out of the description box. For those of you who've donated through the coffee fund and through my thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.